Jaguar by Atari is the only video game system with 64 bits of awesome power. This irresponsible action into the living rooms of our young people.
Get bit by Jaguar.
Hello, welcome again to the Retro Shed. I'm Barry. This is
Izzy.
And
What?
Hello.
what are you doing here?
Just come back from Genesis.
Oh,
Ponfar.
Ponfar.
It's a really special show today. Josh has decided that Ponfar isn't all that it's made out to be. What happened?
Wow. It was very painful.
Ponfar is painful, yes.
And
How painful was it?
more than you can possibly imagine.
Okay, well, it's good to see you anyway.
And it was
it's
all
great
good.
to have you back in the shed.
It was all good until Genesis blew up. All good until...
Oh. Genesis blew up while you was on it.
Wow.
But you've gone through Ponfar.
Yep.
Do you feel any different?
Moving on.
Josh.
Let's not talk about that.
Josh is back in the shed. Anyway, yes, we've got so much to talk about today. We're going to talk about Atari Jaguar, but before we talk about that...
I have a question.
What?
What's been going on while I've been gone? A lot of stuff.
More than you can possibly imagine.
Okay.
So, on the 10th of Feb, which is in about, what, how many weeks? 2 weeks?
2 weeks,
2 weeks. We will be at Burgess Hill. I have no idea where that is. Somewhere in England.
Here's the
United
flyer.
Kingdom, near London, actually.
That's near London.
We're at Burgess Hill, which is near Brighton. Yeah, we're going to be at Press Start to Join's event in Burgess Hill on Saturday the 10th of Feb. Really looking forward to that, actually, although it's an awful trek for us.
But
so we're going to have
will-
to crash somewhere like in the back of the car for
And
the
we're
night.
going to have to take my travel sickness tablets.
We are, because you don't travel very well. Great. What?
So-
What is... What?
Man, don't touch that.
What? We got Nutella on the table for?
I will fight you. Don't touch it.
You're going to fight me
I'll
over
fight
Nutella? Vive la France! Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
If you two close your eyes, ready? Close your eyes, and I'm going to say, you've got to tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. Ready?
Okay.
Atari.
EA.
What?
What?
EA.
And no, Atari 2600.
Very good.
Nintendo?
Atari
It's an
Nintendo.
Atari.
Anyway, when we think of some of the companies that were right there at the dawn of gaming, one company springs to mind. No, it's not Nintendo. No, it's not EA. EA are the cancer.
Oh, that's a bit of an
modern.
exaggeration. They're more like the flu of modern gaming. You know what I mean? They're not that bad.
Well, the flu
Yeah.
killed some people,
Yeah,
so...
the flu killed
No,
people.
but it's
Yeah.
not as bad as cancer.
I'm talking about the company that we've touched on a few times in the past and covered some of their games and computers, and of course was founded by the godfather of gaming himself.
J Minor.
No, that was the godfather of the Amiga, Josh.
Yeah, not J Minor. No, I'm talking about Nolan Bushnell.
Bushnell.
The company, of course, is Atari.
Yes.
Ah, Atari. Yes. Now, Atari was founded in 1972. Did
when
you know?
I was 1 year old.
1 year old.
Wow.
One years
I'd
old.
have been one then.
We
yeah.
did not even exist then. And it was probably one of the first companies to begin to realise the concept of what ended up becoming the coin-operated arcade machine.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right,
it
yeah.
was.
Awesome.
And wasn't their first ever video game machine called Pong?
It was part
Wasn't
of
it
Ah,
a copper together
Pong.
machine with a B&W TV inside of it?
It was just
So you
a-
had like those two white lines, like beep.
It was just a wooden box with a
Pong
black and
was
white TV
amazing.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant, correct. Now, Atari was truly one of the gaming pioneers back in the 70s and the 80s, and they gave us some of the greatest arcade games of all time, bar none.
Yep,
Asteroids,
Asteroids.
Tempest, Centipede,
Battlezone.
Battlezone, Gauntlet, Paperboy,
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
I could go on.
You could, yeah.
could go on.
Not just their arcade game business, but Atari was also the first company to have real success in the home console market with their brilliant 2600 video
Yes.
game
Yes.
system.
Yes.
Yeah, which is totally iconic and pretty much still loved today.
Yes.
Covered in
to be
wood as
honest.
well.
Yeah.
Fake
But-
wood.
Yeah.
But wasn't Atari? It wasn't always a successful company, was it? I mean, they weren't they churning out utter rubbish in the early 80s, which led to the great gaming crash of 1983. E.T.
Oh dear, E.T.
That disgusting thing up
Yeah,
there.
pretty much spot on. They weren't alone though. Many other home console companies of the time were responsible for the gaming
Yeah.
crash. Everyone was churning out complete
Expensive
rubbish, and the
yeah.
public stopped buying expensive tat.
So nothing changes then, eh?
EA Games.
Challenge everything.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Now, this is what we're talking about today. Have you ever wondered what on earth happened to
But there's no
Atari?
point because we know what happened to Atari.
Do we?
A bunch of greedy suited idiots took over the company, didn't have a clue about gaming, and turned a brilliant company into a cash cow that existed purely to take money off people, and it all went wrong. Do you know what? That whole time I just said that, I looked at that guy from Apple. You know when he does that? Speaking, it's like,
Joni Ive. Yeah. Hi, Joni.
So, nothing changes then, eh?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
anyway, yeah.
Moving on. Yes, you've got a point there. Nothing
Yeah.
changes. Greedy suited idiots wrecking gaming companies.
Yeah.
There's a
Sounds,
thought.
yeah, about
Anyway,
right.
where was I? Oh, yes. Pretty much after the success of the 2600, and it was successful, it was
Very,
iconic,
yeah.
and the games crash, Atari struggled with the mediocre success that their follow-up consoles, which were
We've got Atari 2600.
the Junior, yes.
Yeah.
Wait,
Junior.
what? Was
The
it
Junior
Junior?
version.
Yeah.
Instead of being covered with wood, it was just a black box.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Was it not as good?
It's the same console, just
Yeah.
in a different
just,
case.
Yeah, different looks.
Never
Different
heard of
looks.
that.
Got the Atari 7800,
Yeah.
Atari XEGS,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
And the
grey
Panther.
boxes. Yeah.
Ooh.
Atari Panther,
Atari
which was
Panther.
actually a cancelled project, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really count,
No.
to be honest, does it?
No.
And then the Atari Lynx.
Yeah,
That was handheld,
the
wasn't it?
first colour handheld
Yeah.
ever.
That was handheld.
And then finally, 1993, we had the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, which was Atari Swan Song.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunately the last nail in the coffin lid for Atari,
It
as
was,
we
yeah.
know it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that was it. The end. So Atari was taken over by a hive of scum and villainy, and they paid for
They
it.
certainly do, and there's one you missed out there, Isabel, actually, the Atari 5200, which came between the 2600 Junior and the 7800, but they
Yes.
never had the success of the 2700. So, Atari
So-
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
The Atari Jaguar. Never before has a console garnered so much hatred in the retro gaming community. So many people hate this machine. I don't know
why.
Do you know what? I like it.
I like
Do you
it.
like
The
Yeah.
games that
Yeah.
they made
Yeah,
it, or-
yeah, we gave one a home anyway. And
Yeah.
here's ours, and isn't it lovely? Right, here's a look at the Jaguar itself. The Jaguar has two joystick ports, a standard 9-pin Atari type, one cartridge bay, which doesn't actually have a flap in it, which is a bit of a pain, so it does gather dust quite a bit if you haven't got a cartridge in it. On the rear panel we have an RF TV out socket, an AV edge connector, and a comms port which I believe was going to be used to connect it to the Atari Lynx handheld gaming console. And the power in. This particular console shape, the design has been sold to a dental company now, and the shape of this console is now being used as a piece of dental equipment, which is really weird. So if you're ever at your dentist and you see this hanging on the wall, it's not actually a Jaguar, it's some kind of dental equipment. How strange is that?
Okay, so what is it about the Jaguar that people don't like? It's not bad, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, it's not very good, let's be honest. I mean, it was advertised as
What?
Don't look at me like that. It was the world's first 64-bit console.
the
Also,
math.
they said.
Yeah, do the math.
And this was used as the main marketing push for the machine. And it's supposed to be the most powerful console in the world.
64 bits. So with 64 bits and 3D graphics that you can only get with Jaguar, which is more advanced? Clifford! Jaguar!
But
But
it wasn't. And let's start at the beginning, shall we? Now, up until this point, Atari had done pretty well with their range of 8-bit
Yeah.
computers, the 800 and the 400,
Yeah.
and their 16-bit computers,
The Atari ST.
which we really love. I
Yeah.
love that. But towards the beginning of the 90s, home computers were much less popular, and the
Yeah.
market was shifting towards more game consoles.
home game consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sega Master System and Nintendo NES had done remarkably well, and the new generation of consoles had been out a while, and that was in the form of the Sega Genesis
Yeah.
and the Super Nintendo as
Yeah.
well.
Or
Yes.
the Mega Drive, as they call it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this country.
And the games market had risen from the ashes of the crash of the 83, and Atari management wanted a piece of the market and decided it may be time to re-enter the market of the video game console
Yeah.
and wanted something to compete. compete with Sega and Nintendo.
They wanted something to complete Sega and Nintendo. That's an interesting
No, they're rivals, so they don't want to do
History
that.
would have been very different,
Yes,
wouldn't
it would.
Development on Atari's new console actually began in the early 90s with a company that was formed from the ashes of Sinclair Research in Cambridge, and we all know who Sinclair Research are. They were called Flare Technology, and they created a high-spec gaming machine called the Flare 1, and that was used in some gaming cabinets. It was used in some Bell competition. You know those machines you see in pubs where they're like quiz machines?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not an arcade
Those-
machine.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're not a fruit
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
They're really dull.
I don't understand them.
Yeah.
They went into machines made by a company called Bell Fruit that made fruit machines. Actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they were used.
Not much then.
No.
no. Flare was approached by Atari in the early 90s and they were tasked with creating two consoles, which was the Panther and the Jaguar.
Jaguar,
Yeah, but the Panther was designed to be a direct competitor to the existing Sega Genesis and Nintendo SNES, but the project was soon scrapped and nothing became of the poor Panther.
What a shame.
But the Jaguar was designed to be a powerful machine with capabilities that would leave Genesis and the SNES in the dust.
Oof.
And after the Panther was scrapped, the Jaguar was pushed forwards.
It was. Panther was almost ready for launch, and it was decided that the project would be abandoned as Flare was also working on a powerful 64-bit system, and Atari ended up convinced that this system would pretty much walk over everybody else.
Yes, but in conjunction with the ongoing work on the Jaguar, Atari was also concentrating on its new replacement computer for the ST, which was called the Atari Falcon.
Yeah, nice machine.
Which is quite a rare machine today, to be
Nice.
honest.
I love an Atari Falcon.
Didn't sell well, and there was not much software developed for it.
No.
By 1993, the Jaguar was ready, and the Atari Falcon was pretty much abandoned.
It was, that's right, exactly
Flop.
right.
Do you remember that?
The Atari Jaguar was released in 1993. Great year.
Wow.
Great year.
That's going back.
That's just because you were born in 1993.
Obviously. And it sold at an initial price of $249.99.
Dollars.
Still quite
Dollars.
expensive
It's
today,
quite
to be honest.
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah. And it was manufactured by IBM in a deal worth over $500 million.
Woo!
Wow.
No wonder Atari went bust.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was only available, though, in some test markets in New York and San Francisco as well. It was almost like they were reluctant to release a Jaguar at all, really,
Yeah,
when
sounds
you think
like
about
doesn't
it.
really?
Yeah.
A US-wide release did follow in early 1994, and it went head-to-head with the Panasonic 3DO,
Which we had a look at,
covered in an early video. The Jaguar did not sell particularly well, and by the end of 1994, Atari had only sold 100,000 units and was forced to cut the price. We've seen that happen many times, haven't we? However, there was another huge problem lurking on the horizon, and they knew about this, and this was the release of the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn in 1995.
But who was interested in the Jaguar after seeing PS1 and Saturn?
Good point.
Not me.
What do you mean, not you?
You weren't alive.
You weren't alive in 1993,
Yeah,
94.
but if I was...
Oh, if you was, right.
Hypothetically
So
speaking,
yeah, you know if
Theoretically.
you was alive, you wouldn't be interested in it.
Anyway, the Jaguar was really struggling to sell in 1994, and sales were well below Atari expectations, even though Atari was still pouring lots of money into developing games for it.
Well, were they though? That's just it. Now, as we've said
Yeah.
time and time again on this channel, and everyone in the retro gaming world knows this, it's games that make or break your console, and this was no exception. The lack of titles were pretty much down to whether third parties saw any long-term life in the Jaguar.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you invest development time and money on a machine that didn't look like it was going to sell well? I mean, we looked at
True.
Cybermorph,
You wouldn't.
and Cybermorph is pretty poor
awful. It
as
was.
a launch cartridge, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, your launch title has to be drop dead. It has to be stunning.
I know you
Yeah.
can't compare it to Destiny that came out with the PS4,
No, of
but
course
the PS4 was just Destiny was epic.
Look at Halo on the original PlayStation.
Yes.
The whole reason I bought an original Xbox.
on the original
original one.
PlayStation.
Sorry, the original Xbox. Sorry,
I was
guys.
gonna say.
The original Xbox had Halo, and that was
Yeah.
a killer. You just had to go and buy the box.
Yeah.
Cybermorph just didn't do it, really.
The launch title made you want to go out and buy the
Yeah,
console.
and it doesn't.
But
in
did
this case.
Cybermorph did it?
No.
it didn't.
I
Oh
think
no,
Rubbish.
wouldn't for me.
No.
Plus, there was also the problem of the Jaguar being a difficult machine to make games
Yeah.
for as well. It did have a really complex design. Plus, there was also a hardware flaw in the memory and CPU of the console.
Did
I
Intel
think.
have anything to do with it by any chance?
More than likely.
Don't get started.
Well, that caused problems with code running properly.
Yeah.
So the development tools were also not really great,
No, they were
and
poor.
documentation had not been properly finished.
That's right,
So
yeah.
really, pretty dire.
And Sony's development tools were absolutely superb. So they went out of
Yeah.
their way to help companies make games for it, whereas Atari were just like, the Jaguar was not looking like a good platform to spend your time and
Nope.
money developing for, and as a result, not really many games were ever released for it.
No.
In a last effort attempt to get gamers to buy into the Jaguar, huge emphasis was placed on its 64-bit architecture to play down other people's consoles. There was a lot of adverts released that played on the line, do the math! Comparing the Jaguar's processing prowess to other machines on the market, and to be fair, the Jaguar was a much more powerful machine than anything else on the market at that time,
Yeah.
but
Still wasn't
it
enough.
Was not enough. Atari introduced a CD-ROM module for the Jaguar in September 1995.
Yeah.
Nicknamed the toilet.
It looks like a toilet.
Because that is
Yeah.
pretty much what it looked like.
Toilet slots on the top.
Yeah.
Toilet.
And it sold for $149
That's quite expensive
for a
an
toilet.
add-on.
Yeah.
I mean, for an add-on.
For an
Sorry, yeah. It was basically a CD-ROM drive that plugs into the top of the Jaguar, and it allowed a small number of games. I think it's about 12
Originally, yeah.
to be played on it. And it's pretty rare today, and let's be honest, it was pretty much a failure.
Yeah. By the end of 1995, Atari had lost over half of their money, and the company went from $38 million to $14 million.
Oh,
Painful.
In November, there were mass layoffs, and it was pretty much all over for the Jaguar and Atari itself. Over the course of its life, Atari sold just 125 units. And
25,000 units.
that's
125 Jaguars existed. Well, we better hang on to that.
that's not many, let's be honest.
In price.
it is Saturday. I can't think. It's Saturday.
It is your first show for a long time.
Yeah, we'll let you off.
125,000 units.
And
There we
had
go.
over 100,000 unsold
Yeah.
Jaguars in
So
stock.
do you know what always makes me think when I read
Did
stuff
it?
like that? What happened to 100,000 Jaguars that were in stock? Where are they
Yeah,
now?
they
Like
could be
eating
anywhere.
buried in the floor.
Are they still
Yeah, could be.
boxes of brand spanking
Or
new
I reckon,
sealed
yeah.
Jaguars?
Destroyed.
Yeah.
100,000 of them.
That's a
Reckon
lot.
they're destroyed.
Oh, what a shame.
So, the company that literally founded video gaming and produced some of the greatest arcade games of all time,
Yeah, absolutely.
plus the most iconic home consoles of all time,
Yep. No
went
argument.
bust over the most powerful console of all time.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit of a,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you think of it that way, it's such a shame, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, not quite all time, but it was the most powerful console of its time.
It's time, yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't properly supported by Atari, and the lack of games was enough to kill it off.
Yeah.
What a
What a
sad
sad
end.
It reminds me a bit of bit like the Sega Dreamcast, wasn't it? Really,
Yeah.
What a
Content
fabulous,
was-
fabulous machine, but it literally ended up killing
Just,
Atari.
yeah.
Content is indeed king in this business, and we've seen this happen
queen.
so many times over the decades. So let's get down to some specifics.
Oh, no.
What was in the Jaguar?
Right.
The Jaguar contains 5 separate processors in 3 chips. Tom, which was the name of one of the chips, contains the main GPU with a 32-bit RISC architecture.
Is there one called Jerry?
Yes, a 64-bit object processor, and again with RISC instruction sets, and a 64-bit Blitter chip that supports Z buffering and Gaurode shading. So 3 processors on 1 chip. Now, yes, there was a chip called
Oh, really?
Jerry.
I was having a laugh
No.
then.
The chip Jerry controls a 32-bit digital signal processor sound generator with 16-bit CD quality audio. So it had a great sound chip on board. Again, it's a RISC core, full stereo capability, wavetable synthesis. Isabel's gone to sleep, give her a poke. And looks after joystick input control. There is also a Motorola 68000 general purpose CPU running at 13.2 MHz, which takes care of all the other functions. 2 joystick ports of the 9-pin type standard Atari variety, 1 cartridge bay without a bleeding flap,
Hey.
so the thing gets dusty unless you store
flapless.
it. Yeah, unless you put it in its box or has a cartridge installed. Isabel, video edge connector, power socket, and RF out. Flapless.
I knew that.
There's an interesting concept. Now the controller looks worse than it actually feels, to be fair. It is very spongy, the D-pad is very shallow and doesn't offer much in the way of responsiveness. If you're playing Trevor McFur,
No,
you're better
no
off,
chance.
You're better off with a joystick. So here's a question for you. Were there any good games for it?
No. We may as well stop there because there were only Tempest 2000 and Alien versus Predator, and that everyone has seen them before anyway. So.
What? So you want to stop the show because everyone's seen Tempest and Alien before?
Sure, I'm hungry. I want lunch.
No, that's not very fair at all. Yes, those two games are pretty much one reason to own a Jaguar, but there are more than that.
But Baz, sorry, you're not playing Tempest 2000 as we have work and he has school on Monday.
Look,
and if you get on that, no, we will not get a look in. Let's be honest.
If I get on Tempest, you guys can go have lunch or something like that.
We can have lunch.
You're not playing Tempest.
Okay.
Come on, Josh, let's be honest.
That's not very fair.
No.
But there are a handful of wonderful games for it, and we are going to take a look at them now.
Yeah.
Right, Josh is playing Cybermorph on the Jag, and this was a launch title.
Oh, you can crash.
This was a launch title for the Atari Jag. I think it shipped with every Jaguar, and to be honest, I think they could have done a little bit better than this.
A little bit.
1993, 1994.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good as Nintendo's Star Wing, I don't think. So, considering this was one of the launch titles for the game, I don't think it was very good for the console. I don't think it was very good, and we've said this many, many times before. I think the most important game for any console should be
The launch title.
The launch title. Go for it, Josh. Now, there's a new version of Tempest coming out any time now, isn't there?
Oh, it's opposite controls, damn.
Yeah, that's what confused me.
Nice one. So you can tell Josh has played this before.
No, wrong controls.
And it's one of those games I think that everyone, if you're a Jaguar owner, you've got to have this game. It's just brilliant.
Expert at work.
I'm not that.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm not that. Look at how he's gone quiet. He's concentrating.
Yeah.
We should be.
I've stolen the controller.
Talking right now.
And I'm going to try and get us to the point where you have the trippy bonus level thing.
Oh, it's just so much going on. I can't cope with games like this.
Can you not? Because it's so much in your brain.
Yeah, it's too distracting. I'm like, ooh, pretty, and then I get killed.
Autistic people know what they're doing when it comes to this kind of thing. You know?
What, you're saying I'm autistic?
No, we both are. Excellent.
See, what's that box doing?
That's your droid, that's your AI droid. He follows you and helps you.
Oh, see, I'd be looking at him, and then something would come up and kill me.
Yeah, that's it, go.
Dude.
We're looking at Alien vs Predator. Everybody's seen this game before, so
Yeah.
we're not going to dwell on this too long. This was the game that first made me sit up and take notice of the Jaguar because it's very atmospheric. Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of Doom. The way
It does a
it's
bit,
styled.
Funny you should say that. A lot of people say it looks like Doom, and it is. It's almost like a reskinned Doom, isn't it? And for that reason, a lot of people said, "No, it's not very good. It's just a reskinned Doom." But you know what? I think it's a brilliant job, and I think it was coded by, was it Rebellion?
What was that?
What was that?
Look to your right.
Ah,
There's
it's
one of
an
them.
alien.
Shoot
Hello, fella.
it. Shoot it.
How's it going?
Oh, you can let it out. Why'd you let it out?
To kill it.
Kill
Oh, yellow.
And that's the acid puddle. If you walk through that, you lose a bit of health.
Makes sense, I guess.
Opening doors
Jump scare.
normally gets you into
I knew
trouble.
it was a jump scare. I knew it was going to be some sort of scare.
Right, Josh is playing as the Xenomorph. So,
Ooh.
what you got? You got a claw and a tail and a jaw.
Well, I guess that's what everyone has now.
Go kill some things, Josh.
Go wreak havoc.
Close the airlock door first.
Ah.
I like the way they use a bit of artwork from Giga's designs for the film.
Things.
Get him.
Ah.
Tail shoots. Get him with the classic.
Nice.
One. And his mate.
Oof.
Nice.
Get down!
Not a creature you want to go up against, really.
No.
We've got
I
a show
personally
coming up
wouldn't.
actually where we're going to look at the history of Alien games.
Yeah.
Oh, can I be in that?
No.
Because you'll be looking at Alien Isolation.
You
which
can,
is
up until the
scary.
bit where we
Alien
look at some of the
Isolation.
more,
Alien Isolation.
should we say,
Up to date.
yeah, up-to-date versions of the game.
Yeah.
Hello.
You've got to be able to make your way around that guy. Go on. Stab him.
Oh, I can't down it.
Sorry. Got a little bit excited then, didn't I? Anyway.
Ah!
Nice.
Oh, let's get both of them.
Yeah.
Hey! Oh,
Double kill.
double kill.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't see me in this mode.
Ah.
So the best thing to do is probably avoid them until...
Until you know what you're doing.
Yeah. But it's not easy to see.
Oh. Is that...
Yes, a guy.
That's a guy, isn't it?
Got it.
Ah, so you can kill them quicker if
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, if they
not
can't see you.
suspecting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's quite cool, actually, because
Yeah.
that's pretty much how the Predator was supposed to work, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's not really face to face.
He's a bit of a girl sometimes, isn't he? Yeah, he likes to stalk around
Come up behind him.
invisibly. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes it.
Yeah, so it's easier to kill them with your shielding on, I think, and they can't see you.
Oh, spotted you.
Okay,
Cool. That was Predator.
that's Alien versus Predator on
Yep.
the Jag.
I like the music.
This is Iron Soldier, and it's supposed to be very, very good, but the problem is I've never played it before.
So we haven't got
I've
a
got
clue.
no idea what you're doing.
No.
Now that looks
Oh, wow.
much more impressive than
How can we
Cybermorph.
forward?
Yeah.
How do we force? Aha!
You're some kind of mech.
Oh, got him!
You're a mech of some sort.
How do we walk forwards then?
Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
Oh, he won't stop walking now.
You got
You
to
won't
destroy.
stop walking though.
No.
I think you have a speed control. You just speed forwards and speed backwards.
Got
To
it.
figure it out.
No, I'm good.
Hey, there we go. We're getting there.
There's a speed slower now. Here. I got it.
So this looks much more impressive than Cybermorph. Actually, this should have been a release game instead.
Ah,
yeah,
there's
there's your
speed,
speed
there's
control
speed.
up there. Look.
Yeah. It's a bit different. Than
So I think the idea of this
things
game
that
is
pop
just blow stuff up, Josh.
up. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Ah! I see you! Where are you? Can you move your head, please?
That's not bad actually. I think that looks quite good. It's smooth.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
Visuals
not
are very
much,
smooth. Yeah.
lag, is there?
No.
Yeah!
Yeah, it looks quite good
Hello.
for 1993, 94.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hello. I want to blow up a helicopter. I want to blow up a helicopter. Just, yeah!
Nice.
There we go.
This game's actually quite cool.
It is quite good, isn't it? Oh, it's a horizontal shooter.
Oh, yes. Your favourite.
This.
Oh.
Isabel's playing. What's she playing? Trevor McFur.
If you
Do you know
didn't
what
guess
this
who was
reminds
playing
me
yet,
of?
now you know.
Oh!
This
So
reminds
Isabel's
me,
playing Trevor McFur.
and this reminds me of Project X on the Amiga for some strange reason. Oh, you can't beat a horizontal shooter.
And Izzy is terrible at it. So,
But it can beat you, clearly.
Oh, this looks nice.
I like this.
This looks good.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a weapon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pick it up.
What?
And that thing is
that-
no, it's not.
Baz.
This looks really good. Do you know, I've never played this before. I'm gonna have to go this.
ooh, it's quite slow. The
What, the ship?
The ship's quite
Yeah,
slow.
there'll be speed ups, won't there?
The ship, I hope so.
Oh, purple goo.
I can see it.
It's a weird name for a horizontal shoot 'em up. Trevor
Come here.
McFur.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that.
No,
Ooh,
that's a weapon. Shoot it first, I think.
whoa!
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well, I'm just spamming random buttons and hoping it does stuff.
Oh, go on, Baz. Shoot him.
Oh, he's getting closer to me.
Oh, get your laser on it. Ah.
Oh, you're shocking.
I am actually at this.
What is it?
I don't know.
I think I've seen one of those.
Am I
before.
denting him at all?
No.
No.
There you are, look.
Oh yeah, the things at the top. His health. at the
Oh,
top.
you nearly got him then. You got 1 life left, Baz. Come on.
Go on.
But no
It's a bit
pressure.
unfair.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
No pressure at
I've
all.
got no weapons.
You've
no
got
speed.
tiny little bullets. He's got rockets.
Press C and A just in case I do anything. Do that again because you've got loads of
Oh.
health on him.
Yay!
Yes, Dad.
So that was a look at the Atari Jaguar, and I
Yeah.
love it. I really like it.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Jaguar?
Well, for the first time me actually playing it, because I've never
Yeah.
played it before,
No.
I did really like it. Apart from Cybermorph.
But for
I've got to
me-
admit, Cybermorph's just, yeah.
For me,
It's that face that pops up and goes, "Well done."
It's
Every
creepy.
time you shoot
It doesn't make me want to shoot anything. I just want
good
to know.
shooting. It's like, what?
Okay,
no,
so-
the draw distances were pretty bad and it's pretty dull.
Yeah.
And Josh, you just spun my chair around again.
Sorry, I'll
Kicking
spin you
me,
back.
spin
Okay,
you back.
so my opinion, it's a bit tense.
10.
Good to have you back, Josh.
Also,
Tempest was a bit tense,
yeah, it was.
isn't it?
Oh,
What do you think,
so,
Tempest?
So, yes, very tense.
I am so looking
You
forward.
sweated off that. You were like,
I'm so looking for Tempest
You were like
4000. That's going to be a crack.
are we going to get
Yeah.
one of those custom controllers for it as well?
Dunno.
Like a big silver box.
Can you
with
hear
red.
that growling sound? That's my stomach.
That's your
anyway,
stomach?
That's my
So
stomach.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So what did you think of Tempest?
I like Tempest.
It overwhelmed you, didn't it?
It did a little bit.
She was like,
it
"Oh!"
gave me a bit of a headache. I liked it. It was a good game. It was fun. But yeah, there was just so much going on and all these
You didn't know what to-
swirly
you were-
things.
you were like, oh,
and I was like,
what do I do,
oh,
what
and
do I
then I
do, what do I do, what
died.
do I do?
And yeah,
If it hasn't got Pikachus in it,
I'm
Isabel's
not
overwhelmed.
interested. There's nothing
Pikachu
cute to look
Tempest, imagine a
at.
little yellow Pikachu at the edge of the
I find that quite fun actually.
Pikachu.
I like that.
Well, I like the Jaguar. I think it's brilliant, and
Yeah.
I think technology-wise, it was far ahead of what was on the market at the time. But
Yeah.
again, no support,
Flop,
terrible games,
flop.
only a handful of good ones. It's not enough to make you go out and buy an expensive console
really
like
not.
that.
No.
And now it's quite a collector's item now. People do.
Yeah.
Some people do like the Jaguar, some hate it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed our look at the Jaguar. So what's going on, guys? What we're doing next?
Oh dear.
Fortnite.
No,
No, we're not. No,
no, we're not
no.
looking at Fortnite.
No.
Why not?
No,
It's just,
we
but I'm good
will
at
not.
it.
But it's just
Mention
modern
it.
rubbish. So that was my stomach.
Your stuff.
Stomach.
I thought it was an aircraft going over.
I thought it was a plane. I thought it was a plane going over or something.
We need to end this now.
We
He
need to
needs
end
to
it.
be fed.
I thought that was honestly a plane going over.
My stomach. So,
Do you reckon we got that on mic?
thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's wonderful to have Josh back with us.
Certainly is.
We'll be seeing Josh again probably sometime in July because he's going back to play Fortnite now.
Yeah.
Have some
And-
lunch first.
Now, next episode we are taking a look at.
Alien.
No, you wanted to do. You wanted to look at Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
Because Dig Dug has been featured in. I'm reading Ready Player
It's
One
in
at the
Stranger
moment.
Things as well.
Yeah, so Dig Dug is featured in Ready Player One,
Stranger
which is going to be a
Things.
good film actually.
Yeah.
It's featured in
Stranger Things.
Dig Dug's featured in Dig Dug.
I
No,
would
Dig
hope
Dug
so.
is featured
Stranger
in
Things.
Stranger
If
Things.
it's not, I'd be worried.
The show is falling apart. We need to exit now.
He needs to be fed.
We'll catch
Yeah.
you soon when we're going to be taking a look at
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye.
Dig Dug's featured in Dig Dug.
His stomach. I honestly thought it was an
I
aircraft.
seriously thought that was one of those.
Yeah.
Television, the red, the mind god, mind god, mind god.